Now, good afternoon, students. We are going to handle on there are things that we are going to still on development. Now, we move on. Therefore, there is need to understand how these issues affect basically social. We have a number of photos there. There are those photos on the screen. You can take time, take some 2 minutes, 2 minutes or 1 minute looking at the photos. And once you have looked at the photos, then we shall pick up from there. We're going to pick up from there. Trying to understand what those photos mean. They are placed there with a purpose. There is a purpose why we use those photos in our slides here. Let's watch photos. You can tell people coming. So our discussion here.
Hello.
We are saying that sustainable development requires that communities be self-sufficient, that people's control over their own lives should be increased, and that the social and cultural identity and the decision-making capacities of societies should be preserved and reinforced. Should be preserved and reinforced. So the social structure and even the cultural structure of individuals should be preserved and even reinforced. Then number eight, we are saying that as a holistic process, sustainable development requires an indissoluble dialectic union between theory and practice. This implies a dynamic process that undergoes constant progression and modification. So there should be a constant progression and modification of issues in the society. So then we move on another aspect of life. Another aspect of life, holistic approaches to early child development. Holistic approaches to early child development. And we stated that the term holistic approach to early child development refers to the policies and programming that ensure that child rights to health, nutrition, cognitive, and psychosocial development and protection are all met. All kinds of interventions should reach all the children equally, including those who belong to the economically backward sections of the society. So we are saying that the holistic approach to the early child development entails the provision or availability of healthcare, nutrition, cognitive and psychosocial development, or even protection. Security of the children should be met. So then, holistic approach to early child development also includes improvement of survival, growth, and development, which requires interventions in three basic areas. So there's need to have quality, basic services, good care practices within the family, the community, and even the implementation of early childhood development policies. So holistic approach involve those aspects. And we also say that the components that bring about great impact on children's well-being operate at 4 different levels. And let's look at these 4 different levels. So the first level under which the children's well-being operates is what we have said, the family. And what is the composition of the family, if I may ask? What is the composition of the family? There are different types of families. We have nuclear family, we have extended family, we have single parent families, etc. But in this case, we are looking at the family as a social unit that the child gets the basic skills of life. So, as the first component of the child's well-being in the societies, we argue that the family of the child comprises of the following people: parents, siblings, grandparents, if need be, relatives, and the child is born with their family. His parents are said to be his first and best teachers. They make available to the child all the basic requirements. The parents inculcate within the child the behavior practices, cultural traits, etiquette, which is good behavior, and finally, the abilities of making selections and basic decisions. So the family comprises of those people, parents, siblings, and sometimes the parents and even the relatives. But these people within the family play those functions that I have just mentioned. So the parents are the first best teachers of the child, and as the first teachers of the child, they make available to the child all the basic requirements. They inculcate within the child behavior practices, skills, choices, norms, values, discipline, traits, etiquettes, and finally, the ability of making selections, the basic decisions. So the family members also are the basic caregivers, and they send the child to school and other training. So for the child to grow holistically, then these caregivers need to send the child to school and even other trainings in colleges, among the community, and we are saying that the role of the community cannot be said. When the child starts growing, he begins to move into the world outside of his home and initiates to interact and communicate with the community members. So there are services that are required at the community level, and these services include social network. They share meals, they learn how to share meals, working as a group, in celebrations of festival or some custom, and even so forth. There have been several community organizations that have been engaged into provision of certain kinds of extracurricular activities, such as sports, making handicrafts, music and dance programs, events, and even management. So the community provides to the child some programs, extracurricular activities such as participation in sports, making the handicrafts, music, dance, and even events management. Now, we move on to the next point. We are moving on to the next point, point number 4. Holistic approach it's all about international. So look at this, because we have moved from the family level. We have talked about the community. Now we are going to the higher level, which is the international level, a level higher than the family and even the community society. So in this case, at an international level, in order to bring about holistic approaches to the development, it is necessary to formulate vital goals, targets, standards, and even financing mechanisms. So the international level involves the formation of vital goals, they finance the mechanisms so that children can grow holistically. So at this level, at the international level, there are laws that are made, there are curriculum that are planned for children, there are projects that are created for children take part in. So the international level also plays a role in ensuring that the child grows or matures in a holistic nature or level. So let's look at the holistic development strategies. So there are 7 critical areas here that we shall endeavor to look at. 3 very critical areas. So we have education, personal development, therapeutic intervention, cultural activities, entrepreneurial development, sport and recreation, and reintegration back into the society. These are the sites that need to be implemented to bring about holistic social development. So from education, personal development, therapeutic intervention, cultural activities, entrepreneurial development, which deals with the business, sports, recreation, and even reintegration back into the community. We're going to look at these issues one after the other. So let's look at the developmental in nature as the first one strategy. So this strategy should be developmental in nature. And what are the main strengths? What are the main weaknesses that should be analyzed within a person? And how to build up the competences within the person. And encourage trial and error learning as a method to grow and widen the knowledge levels. And even foster a strong belief of potential within not only the individual, but within the whole family system. So the strategy should be developmental in nature. They should focus on the strengths and the weaknesses. And these strengths and weaknesses should be analyzed within a person to build the capacity and to have the competences within different sectors of life. We have also restorative and rehabilitative strategy, restoring, and then you rehabilitate an individual. And restoration and rehabilitation has to do with those individuals that commit the legal crimes, acts of many criminal activities, illegal acts, those that face judicial and the penalties, and such kinds of individuals who have come into conflict with the law need to make corrections. The device needs to frame their lives, the behavior, in a systematic and an organized way. And these individuals should learn to distinguish between correct and incorrect. So, in respect to this, we are saying that individuals that have been in jail parts, those who have been in jail, those who have been in prison, and those who are criminals in the society should be taken to a rehabilitation center. And a rehabilitation center is not a center for punishing individuals. It's a correctional center. So people should understand that a rehabilitation is meant to correct the characters and the behaviors of people in the society. So people should not take a rehabilitation center as a punitive measure for the criminals. It is meant to correct people so that whenever people come out of these centers, they come out with skills, they come out with the capacity to build the society afresh, to join the community, to work hand in hand to reap the fruits of success. So we then move on and talk about another effective developmental strategy is effective communication. So every individual in the community, irrespective of the gender, caste, religion, ethnicity, level of education, these people should learn how to communicate effectively. There have been certain ways of communication. And individuals should learn those ways. They should be aware regarding the grievance, redressal systems, and how to communicate about his problems and difficulties. So human beings, they should have the capacity, should be trained on how to communicate. So communication is very key, it's very important, and communication serves the purpose of ensuring express their needs, express their desires, and express their issues in the society. So there can be a restorative, rehabilitative way to improve their social functioning abilities and they are reintroduced within the society. So we have talked about the question of rehabilitation some time back. Then we move on to something else. So then we have what we call multidisciplinary approach to programs. Multidisciplinary approach to programs. So this a kind of approach is used in counseling and guidance programs and in therapies, rendering a positive approach and service when evaluating each child. For example, when an individual graduates from school, he needs to seek admission into a course, good educational institution, in order to fulfill his required goals and objectives. For that purpose, he seeks career counseling from a counselor. So, in a nutshell, we are trying to say here, if you want to apply a multidisciplinary approach to programs as a strategy to develop somebody holistically, we take an example of somebody who has just finished or completed a high school level. So we look at the individual who have completed the high school level, and these people need seek admission into a good course, good education institution in order to fulfill their goals, objectives, etc. So by doing that, people need to seek the advice of the career counselor in the counseling programs. Some institutions have well-developed counseling programs, and by doing that, then these counseling programs help individuals pick up good careers, pick up good courses, pick up good institutions, and even universities for learning. So then you also need to provide individuals with alternatives. So another strategy for ensuring that individuals grow holistically, then provide them with these alternatives. There is need to have alternatives. So one choice or one selection and only one alternative available does not always work. So in case of one's educational and the job opportunities, an individual should have at least 2 or 3 alternatives in front of him. So you need alternatives in front of you. You need 2 alternatives. Just like in some countries, like in USA, people have different trainings. You can find somebody as trained as a doctor, to some extent is as trained also as a lawyer. So when he fails in law, he can go to medicine. When he fails in medicine, and go to law. So you need to give people alternatives, options. When you are pursuing a course, you need to have alternatives. If one alternative fails, you have another alternative. Like in some countries, many countries have what you call the cut-off points. So if one alternative does not work, then you move on to another alternative. If you say, for example, you are going to train a teacher, then you don't qualify to train as a teacher because of the qualifications that are there. Then you move away from that alternative. Then you can go and train another course that you qualify to train in. So we move on to strategy. The next strategy is strategy number 6. So strategy number 6 has to do with encouraging individuals to participate. You encourage individuals to participate in activities. So we have stated that communication is essential for a person to develop his aptitude, his skills, abilities, as well as qualifications. And therefore, in the same manner, individuals should be encouraged to participate in various functions, activities, jobs, tasks, utilities, occupations, or social gatherings. So, human beings should be given the opportunity to participate in different activities such as jobs, tasks, utilities, occupations, or social gathering. So there should be that opportunity to have all the individuals be involved in different activities. So you need not to limit individuals to take part in those social activities with society. When other people are taking part in those activities, you also need to consider those friends, those people that you live around with. And it's very important that you work on that aspect of ensuring that individuals participate in these tasks to build basically their language, build their capacity in terms of social relations, to build their interaction among other issues. Now, then we move on to something, So we have come to an end of our session there. But that should not be the ultimate end of our session. There are a number of issues that we need to focus on as we go through this training on holistic approaches to development. And I just want to flip back and highlight a number of issues from the training that we have had and just cite some key points which we have discussed in this training. So I'll take a few minutes before I wrap up the discussion and talk about a few points that we have just talked about. I'll begin right from the start to demonstrate to you how these issues might affect your life. So we have just clearly and systematically talked about the basic principles of holistic approach to sustainable social development. The principle number one was there must be interaction or coordination among all the factors, agents in the country, region, or locality. Principle number two is redefining the predominant patterns of distribution of wealth. So you redefine the patterns of distribution of wealth in the society so that there is a equitable distribution of wealth. Next is that we need to redefine the relationship between human beings and nature, the definition of human beings and nature. Next is that we need to recognize the generational equality among individuals. So there should be equality among the societies, countries, communities. There should be an international order, establishment of international order. Number 6, we need to work so hard to ensure that the environment that we live in is conducive, healthy to individuals. So human beings have the obligation, they have the moral responsibility to work on the issues of the environment, to ensure that the environment is clean, there is no pollution of the environment. We have also said that communities should be self-sufficient because people control their own lives. So we have also given a definition of what holistic approach to early child development is. We have given that definition. In that definition, I want us to pick these terms. Issues to do with the right of the child, which is health, nutrition, cognitive, and psychosocial development is very key. So basically, holistic approach to early child development has to do with the provision of the basic needs of the child. So there are 6 or 5 holistic approaches to early childhood development. And the first approach is the family. The family is a key component. The family is a key element of the child development, an approach to child development. So because the family, it's in the family that the child gets the skills. So people within the family should nurture the skills and knowledge and even the capacity of the child to grow holistically. There is also the question of the community. The child from family, he starts interacting with the community. He gets to learn language from the community. He gets to participate in co-curricular activities in the community. So the community should be provided with the capacity to nurture the children that are brought in. We have talked about the international relation, international level, where at the international level there is a setting of goals, targets, and even standards, or even financing mechanisms. So then we have also holistic development strategies. So we have mentioned the 7 or 8 strategies. We have talked of developmental in nature. The strategy should be developmental in nature. They should be restorative and rehabilitative. There is need to have what we call effective communication among all members of the society. Effective communication is the key in the society. Members should communicate effectively. There is need to communicate effectively within the members of the society. So this is an area that needs to be tackled elaborately. Communication skills. Why do people communicate? Communication is key, and the communication is imperative to different people, not minding the gender, the caste, the class, the religion, ethnicity, among other issues such as levels of education. So then we have also talked about the multidisciplinary approach to the programs. Another point is that you provide alternatives to individuals. Individuals need to be given the alternatives to choose from the alternatives given. So it's very important that you give these alternatives to people so that these alternatives can help them pick on the best alternative or option to work on. We have also talked about encouraging individuals to participate in different programs of the society, especially jobs, tasks, utilities, occupations, and even social gatherings. So individuals should be given or should be provided with opportunities to participate in different tasks within the community. So with that, we wrap up from there at HANA Academy on that very interesting topic that we have just held this afternoon. And in our discussion today, we have handled a number of issues on holistic approaches to children and even individuals. And this is a topic that we need to work on modality of life when does not sometimes communicate because he is incapacitated language or communication skills. He does not have the best communication. And by doing that, then he lacks the opportunity to get that other children have. So it's our mandate as trainers, as the need to assist the students. Even the training does not just center around them. It's a training that shows individuals different grow holistically. So growth does not mean as such is something that growing is a lifelong process. Those aspects that we are just saying. So we want to stop there. We want to wrap up at that point. And we shall pick up another session of two or one session. And then we shall be winding up our discussion. So that can happen. So that said, we end our